Getting a body analysis is one of the most important things that you can do to succeed in your weight loss journey. Crazy thing is, a lot of people don't do them. In this video, I'm going to show you the importance of the body analysis and how it's going to help you be successful in your weight loss journey. So we're going to get you stepping on the scale. It's a really cool scale. It actually gives you really great information on a body analysis. This is a whole part of our program, and it's very important, very, very important. So once you do that, we're going to go over it. So we're going to go over some information that is obtained from that scale. And the only explanation I have as to how this thing works is magic. Seriously, I don't know how it works. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the weight. And you are going to see an example of this, but you have your weight. Then it also gives you what your weight could be. So you can try to get into that area, which once you start getting down into the yellows and you're going to see your BMI and your body fat percentage, once those move into yellow, you'll start noticing that it's getting a little bit more difficult. The higher up in red that it is, you're going to lose weight a lot quicker. But once you start getting into that yellow, now that's when you're really going to have to start putting in that work. You're going to have to watch your protein, you're going to have to watch your carbs, the exercise, and really watch those calories, because it's important if you want to get down into the greens. So you want to go from obese to overfat to healthy. And that's where, we're constantly looking at this. So every week when you come in, we get you on the scale. We always look at your body fat mass, we're going to look at your water mass, and we're going to look at your muscle mass. So when we're looking at these, we can tell by your average and what you've been trending each week. If you're frustrated or you're not losing fast enough, we're going to be able to tell, okay, why? And is it because you're gaining the muscle, or is it muscle, or are you losing muscle? Because if you're losing muscle, we're going to yell at you. Not really, but we're going to encourage you to eat more protein. You should be eating about 80 to 100 grams a day for women and 100 to 120 grams a day for men, which is kind of difficult. So it's a challenge, but that's where the protein shakes come in, and where your protein bars, making sure you're getting your meats and your beans and your nuts and things like that. Then we also look at your fluid retention. If you look down on the sheet, the third bar from the top is going to show you your actual hydration. If you're in the yellow, you are dehydrated. If you're in the green, you're hydrated. But then if you look at your body water mass, which is up in the numbers above, the water mass actually shows us your retention. So semaglutide is cardioprotective. What does that mean? It actually makes your heart and your blood vessels work better, as well as your kidneys. A new study just came out stating that your kidneys are actually improved by using semaglutide. So when we work at that water mass, so say if it's a woman's time of the month, you're going to retain fluid, or you went out and you ate a hot dog, or you had a margarita with the salt along the rim, or just anything salty, pizza, for instance. All of those things are going to make you retain fluid. And if you retain the fluid, it's going to show that you're not losing the weight. So we can see that on here. We're going to know if you're retaining that fluid. And then if you're gaining, what are you gaining? Are you gaining muscle? Are you gaining water? Are you gaining fat? We can tell you that so that you know what you need to be doing to pull that back off. So the other thing that we look at is, if you look at, it says basal metabolic rate on one sheet and it says score on the other. That is your caloric intake to maintain. We here at Recrea are not in the business of maintaining. We're in the business of optimizing. So what we're going to tell you is that number that you see there, you want 200 to 300 less than that number. That's your caloric intake for your daily intake. We do recommend that you download an app, because if you've never counted calories before, you really don't have any idea of what you're taking in. So getting an app, I like LifeSum, and it's free. There's all kinds of them out there. Just get a free one. Google is great too. You can just start putting things in Google and it'll start telling you how many calories, how many carbs and things are in that. So calorie counting is really important. But then also another issue is not eating enough. So your body, just laying still, needs your calories to be at about 1,100. If you're taking in less than 1,100 and you do it for an extended period of time, then you're going to stop losing weight because your body goes into a state of starvation. Once you're in that state of starvation, you're not going to lose anymore. And we will watch that too. And usually we can tell that by your muscle. because your muscle is going to start dropping. You've all heard of the Ozempic muscle wasting. That's because you're not getting that protein. And that's where it's very important to get that protein. The other thing that we always look at is metabolic age. So your metabolic age is a lot of times a lot older the higher your fat goes and your muscles lower. So as you start shifting that, then your metabolic age drops. And a lot of times it's actually should be less than what you actually are. So what does it mean when your metabolic age is older than you actually are? So when I first started this, I was at 90 and I was, I think, 47 at the time. So now I'm actually my own metabolic age, sometimes a little bit less, depending on my muscle mass. So what that means is you are just slower. You're not going to lose the weight as easy. You need less calories in order to lose the weight. So watching that metabolic age really gives us a good idea of where you're at. And another thing that we do here is bioidentical hormones. So if your metabolic age is way off and your weight's off and or way up and you just can't lose it, sometimes looking at the hormones is a good way to do that. And how many times have you gone to the doctor and the doctor says thyroid's normal? Well, you know what? Why do we want to be normal? We still have side effects and symptoms of it at that normal rate, but if we optimize it, and a lot of times we can optimize your thyroid just with supplements, which is really important. We don't need to be on the Synthroids with levothyroxines or Armour thyroid or NP thyroid. We can actually do it with just adding in a supplement. So those are all things that we look at here to help decrease your weight and get you healthy. This is a lifestyle change. We're not trying to put you on a diet that's just going to get you off the weight, get the weight off immediately. We actually want you to start living that healthy lifestyle. That's what's really important, and that's what we do here.